Hello BookTube, my name is Elizabeth and welcome to Book Babble. Today I am going to be doing my weekly wrap-up for the first week in August. This week I read 4 books. I gave 2 of those 5 stars, one of them 4 stars, and one of them 3 stars. So let's get started. The first book that I read this week is Everything Everything by Netgalley. This is what the cover looks like. It's on my phone, so it's kind of like glary and stuff, so I'm sorry about that. But I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and this is a contemporary read. Everything Everything is about Madeline, who is allergic to everything. She has a very rare disorder where anything that she experiences, food or the environment, could make her have an extreme allergic reaction. So she basically has to stay in her house her whole time. She's never been to like public school or anything like that. And then a boy and his family move in next door, and a love story ensues, and it is just super sweet, and I just really enjoyed it. The ending was the absolute best. I really liked the book in the beginning, but the ending is what really made it a like 4.5, 5-star book. I think I gave it a 4.5-star review on my blog, which I will link down below. I don't want to talk a lot about the book because, of course, I did do a full review on my blog. But again, I really enjoyed it. If you are not a big fan of contemporary like I am, I don't read a lot of contemporary. A lot of the contemporary I read, I really don't like, but this I just really loved. And if you are a contemporary lover, I definitely recommend this book. The next book that I read this week was Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. I started reading this before the Booktubeathon, and it ended up being just one of the books that I finished during the Booktubeathon, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. This is the second book in the Remnant Chronicles. The first book, Kiss of Deception, is about Leah, a princess who escapes a betrothal to the prince of a neighboring kingdom, and it is about her story and her struggle, and it was just so amazing. I love this series so much. I did a live show on this series with Chloe over at the Brunette Bibliophile because this is our July book of the month for our Once Upon a Read Along, and I will link that down below if you would like to check that out. But again, I just loved this book so much. This is probably going to be one of my favorite books of the year. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my dog is chewing on his bone in the background and making some noise. So I apologize about the background noise if you guys can hear that. But anyway, the next book that I read this week was Saints by Jean Lun Yang. This is the second graphic novel in a duology about the Boxer Rebellion in China, and I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was going to be like a historical fiction graphic novel, but it was more like a historical fantasy. I didn't really like the fantastical elements in there. I feel like the author relied a bit too much on those elements, and I really wish that he had more history in it and stuff. So it just wasn't what I was expecting. I think this graphic novel can be very good for people who enjoy that kind of thing. And I do like fantasy, but I just didn't like it in this setting because I just feel like it really should have been more historically accurate instead of having all these fantasy aspects in it. But I did enjoy it enough to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I really liked the character, and the ending was pretty epic. The first book in this series, I think I gave a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I would recommend any graphic novel lovers to pick this up. I just think you need to know in advance before going into it that it is a historical fantasy and not a historical fiction. The next book that I read this week was The Heir by Kara Cass. I read this for the Booktubeathon as well, and it was for the challenge to read a book that you really want to read, and I read the selection series, absolutely fell in love, so I picked this up, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, I believe, and I did like the ending a lot more than the first half of the book, but I'm going to be doing a full review on this. It is going to be going up on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that if you guys want to hear my full thoughts on The Heir. I feel like I need to say so much about this book, but I'm going to be ranting and raving about it in my review, which is coming up in a couple of days. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Again, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I am currently reading 2 books right now. The first one is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I got this from Kristen over at Cap89X. This is the traveling book that David over at Lit Journal sent out, and I'm on page 298 right now, which is about right here, so I'm almost done with it. I've only got about 150 pages to go, and So far, I'm not really liking it, and that's really unfortunate because I know everyone loves this book. I think in order to get this to be like a 3.5 star book for me, it's gonna have to have like a really, really good ending. I'm gonna do a full and complete review on this on my channel, hopefully by the end of the week. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I'm debating on whether or not to do it because again, this is the traveling book and I don't know if I'm going to. So if you guys want to see a review of this, comment down below and let me know. I'm just not sure if I want to do one or not. It's not like the worst book I've ever read. I'm just not really enjoying it. I hope the ending gets better, but we'll have to see. Another book that I'm reading right now is an arc from Netgalley, and that is 1001 Nights. That's the cover, but it is not the final cover. If you guys want to check out the final cover and a description, it will be down below. But this is a retelling of 1001 Nights, which is, I guess, a classic, which I've never read, and I am so confused. I'm only at 29% on the book so far, and I am really up in the air on whether I like it or not. I just don't know. I'm gonna have to read the rest of the book to really decide. And I feel like it's gonna be one of those books that you read and you have to think about for a week to decide whether or not you liked it or what's really going on. It really makes me think, and I just don't know if I like the writing style, but we'll see. Again, I'm only at 29%, so I will have more information on that on my next week's weekly wrap up. Alright guys, so that is my weekly wrap up. I read some really great books this week. I don't really know if I'm enjoying the books that I'm reading currently, but you know, only time will tell, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!